Wait up, wait up. I just wanted to make a very quick video about the game that I'm playing right now. It's Rogue Galaxy. This is, of course, my original PlayStation 2 copy. Now, back in the day, when I was still a innocent little guy, a little kid, I'm still innocent, by the way, Final Fantasy VIII was, in my eyes, one of the best RPGs ever made. Not as good as 7, 9, or 10, but basically after those games, 8 came when I talk about my best games of all time. And recently, this year, I replayed that game, and to my biggest surprise, found out that, well, the game isn't really that good. It's still a really good RPG, but I didn't like it as much as I remembered. Rogue Galaxy is a game that I also, of course, played when I was much younger, when I was a kid, end of teenage years, whatever, it doesn't matter. In 2005, I think the game came out. And I have good memories of this game. I really liked Rogue Galaxy. I never could beat the game because it was extremely difficult. And I'm talking about why does it take so long to defeat a simple enemy? Why am I having so much trouble? Why do I die so much? And I have to say, I'm still dying a lot because you die very easily in Rogue Galaxy. But at the same time, you also have a shit ton of healing items. So you basically just have to, how do you say, manage your AI characters because they fucking suck. And basically do everything yourself. And you'll be fine. However, when I was a kid, I never understood the way that the game worked. I never understood how you should combine weapons to make a stronger weapon, and then basically keep combining the weapons in like a pyramid style, like with the tournaments. And then at the end of the top, you get a very strong weapon. And what the game, I think, doesn't really tell you, but you kind of figure it out for yourself, is that you can buy back the weaker weapon and make a other weapon with that. So a lot of weapons you have to sort of keep making because there are a lot of variations for one weapon to make a shit ton of other weapons. So I am now at the point, well, not really. I was at the point where I had a weapon. I think it's the Desert Claw? Is it the Desert Claw? The weapon you got based early on in the game. You could upgrade that weapon. And I had a weapon of like 160, 180 damage. And then I upgraded that weapon a few times and I had like almost 400 damage. I'm like, wow. And I was just crushing enemies. I was destroying bosses. And now I'm at the point where, okay, my weapon is becoming a little bit weaker now. But I'm like, wow, the game is difficult. You die very easily, but you have to keep upgrading your weapons. And I love how they've done that. And Level 5 is kind of known to make huge games, at least on the PlayStation 2 era, because I don't know I don't think they're actually still making games like this, or Dark Chronicles, or White Knight Chronicles. Did I say Dark? Yeah, Dark Chronicles and White Knight Chronicles. Yeah. I love the White Knight Chronicles, by the way. It's also a game. Number 2, I never beat. I never beat White Knight Chronicles 2. I really need to go back and play it. But first, Rogue Galaxy. I want to say that the graphics are amazing. I'm playing it on the PS4, but even on the PS2, the cel-shaded graphics are fantastic. I loved it. I loved it, especially the character designs. It's very, very important that a character looks appealing to me, at least. At least I don't want to talk any kind of bullshit, but a character like in Star Wars Outlaw, no, sorry, I'm not gonna play with that character for 40, 50 hours looking at a ugly ass character. I'm very sorry, but just the character designs, they look very, very cool. I'm not really into Simon or any of the other characters. I mostly play with Jilica, Jester, Zurgram, what a weird name, Zurgram, Kisala, and Diego. Those are my favorite characters. The storyline is a little bit weird. I mean, the whole game, they're talking about a war that you'll never see. You don't even know who they are fighting against in terms of the storyline of the war, right? So don't play this game thinking, oh, it's going to be an amazing storyline. It's not. But the gameplay is solid, especially upgrading your weapons and grinding your weapons. You don't really need to grind that much. It's like a few minutes and then your weapon will be max. And it doesn't mean that the weapon is at maximum strength. It just means that when it's max, you can combine it to make stronger weapons. There's a huge amount of items you can collect, and it has sort of a Final Fantasy 12 upgrading system where you have to use items, and then when you have in slot, and then certain amount of items, and you have your HP grows or you learn a new skill. I like that system, but it is kind of a little bit stolen from Final Fantasy 12. Or was Final Fantasy 12 later? Then Final Fantasy 12 stole it from Rogue Galaxy. It doesn't really matter to me. I like that system of upgrading, kind of like the Sway Grid. I like the Sway Grid too. And you also just level up normally, but I don't think when you level up, you actually get like a lot of stronger. You can basically be level 50, use a weak weapon, go to the beginning of the game, and you'll still do a little amount of damage. The music is fantastic. It is not as good as Final Fantasy. No, it's not. But there are some tracks who are genuinely incredible, especially when you are in Zergrot. Zerat. Is it Zerat? I'm probably fucking up the name because my brain is like, my IQ is poof, going down. I think it's Zerart. It's the world where you have these giant metropolis, and then it's pretty cool because it reminds me of Phantasy Star, but it also reminds me of Ratchet and Clank, because in Ratchet and Clank, certain areas, especially the city areas, you see cars flying here and there, and it's not as detailed as in Ratchet and Clank, but you do see it. And even in areas where probably nobody will go, nobody will look, they have little parks in the distance, and they have fountains, and they have cars, and they have trains. It is pretty detailed for an RPG, for a game from that era, and it's pretty big. That's the whole point. The game is big. Every level is pretty massive, to be really honest. And I love the soundtrack of Zerard. So that reminds me a lot of Phantasy Star. And that's a good thing, though. I love the old Phantasy Star games. Even though I haven't beaten any of it, I still need to beat Phantasy Star Universe. I actually got it on the 360. So I could easily play it on a larger screen with better frame rate and graphics. And this video is already taking a little bit too long. I apologize. I really wanted to make a small video, but I'm just going to say I love Rogue Galaxy. This is such a good game. And I am not done yet. Oh no, I am not done yet. I am going to try and do as much as I can. Try to be the #1 hunter rank. Trying to get all the costumes. Going to dabble with the Insectroid minigame. I'm not super into that kind of stuff, but I'm going to try and dabble with it, right? Sort of like a Pokemon meets a turn-based, team-based sort of chess. Not really chess, just turn-based, team-based battle with insects that are called Insectrons or Insectroid, whatever. But yeah, I'm trying to do all the hunts, trying to defeat all the small bosses, and maybe even do the post-game environment, because I think when you beat the game, you'll actually unlock sort of a ghost ship or something like that, and then you get all the strongest weapon, and etc., etc. So maybe I'll even do that. So I am not by a long shot done with this game, but I absolutely love it. It is a fantastic game. And if you never played it, it's available on the PlayStation 4 and 5. Go get it. Honestly, go get it. Every level 5 game on the PlayStation 2, go get it. They're all extremely good. So leave in the comments below, have you ever played Rogue Galaxy? And did you like it, yes or no? And like always, you will see me next time. Ooh, 9 minutes. That's not that long.